I'm very pleased to announce our keynote speaker today. This individual is there's a hole in the stage. He is a renowned educator and entrepreneur who is going to be talking to us about how identity leadership can help make us successful and our businesses successful. So if you would please help me in giving a warm welcome to Stedman Graham.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My pleasure. Morning. Good morning. How are you this morning? Good, good. I'm a skier, so I was up in Snowbird here about a long time ago. I won't tell you how long. Long time ago, and it's just great to be back. And John, I enjoyed your presentation. It was informative and very much needed. And when I think of MasterControl, I really think of leadership. Can you be a master of your own development? Can you master your own life? Can you co-create with the world? Can you take information, education, make it relevant? We talked about purpose, to your purpose in life. Transfer it to your mind so you can create a process for continuous improvement and development. Can you take the 24 hours that you have, which is the only thing that makes us all equal? Everybody has 24 hours. The question is, what do you do with your 24 hours? And what do most people do with their 24 hours? Well, they never get a chance to really be a master control of their own development. Because they wake up in the morning, they wash their face, they brush their teeth, they get something to eat, they get the kids off to school. They work all day, they come home in the afternoon, they spend time with the family, they watch TV, they go to bed, maybe they dream that's Monday. Then on Tuesday, they wake up in the morning, they wash their face, brush their teeth, they get something to eat, they get the kids off to school, work all day, come home in the afternoon, spend time with the family, they watch TV, they go to bed, maybe they dream that's Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, what did they do? They wake up in the morning, they wash their face, they brush their teeth, they get something to eat, they get the kids off to school, they work all day, they come home in the afternoon, they spend time with the family, they watch TV, they go to bed, maybe they dream that's Wednesday. And here comes Thursday. And what do you think they do on Thursday? They wake up in the morning, wash their face, brush their teeth, get something to eat, get the kids off to school, work all day, come home in the afternoon, spend time with the family, they watch TV, they go to bed, maybe they dream that's Thursday. And on Friday, what do they do? Wake up in the morning, wash your face, brush your teeth, Matt. Wake up in the morning, wash your face, brush your teeth, get something to eat, get the kids off school, work all day, come home in the afternoon, spend time with family, watch TV, they go to bed, maybe they dream that's Friday, and Saturday they sleep in. And they wash, and they do errands, and they shop, and they get the kids off to activities, and they go out Saturday night. A lot of people on Sunday go to church and eat chicken dinners in the afternoon, and they get ready for work on Monday. And how long can people do this for? There's 7 billion people in the world. How many would you say do the same thing over and over every single day? With no consciousness, without really thinking about it. Probably 99% of the people are followers as opposed to leaders of their own development. And the missing piece for most people is they never turn the brain on. They never really think. And they're not conscious of their ability to take information and make it relevant to their life in the 24 hours they have every single day. And they never really understand that the most important person in the world is you and themselves. And without you, what happens when you don't have you? What happens when you don't work? What happens when you're not functioning at the highest possible level based on your potential as a human being? What happens? You don't have that much value. Because the value you give yourself is the value the world gives you. The world sees you as you see yourself. And how do you see yourself? Well, I live out of my history as opposed to my imagination. I focus on, living in that household for 18, 19 years. What did I learn? And so we never really get a chance to focus on the inside because we're so busy on the outside doing what? If you did the same thing you did yesterday as you would do today, as you would do tomorrow, what have you done? Nothing. And then we go to school and we say, man, I just need to be educated and my life is going to change. And the educational system teaches us how to memorize, take tests, repeat the information back, get labeled with a grade. And 2 weeks later, if I asked the student what they learned, what would they say? Nothing. I forgot. So nothing from nothing is nothing. So when you're in master control of your own life, the most important question you'll ever be asking in your life is this: do you know who you are? And when you don't know who you are, what happens when you don't know who you are? When you don't know who you are, Donna, what happens? You didn't know I was going to call on you, did you? You don't know, when you don't know who you are, you're kind of walking around looking for some direction. When you don't know who you are, Donna, the Donna's in the room this morning. When you don't know who you are, Donna.
Yes. What happened?
Yeah.
If I don't know who I am, then I'm not presenting anything to anyone else.
You're not presenting the best of who you can possibly be. Wow. Sarah, when you don't know who you are, what happens?
You flounder.
You flounder. You're kind of looking around trying to find the right road to take. And basically, a lot of times, you're just lost. And so, when you don't know who you are, it's hard to be a true leader. When you don't focus on self-development and self-efficacy and self-empowerment, it's very difficult to be able to maximize your potential as a human being. Now, what's wonderful is we have so much talent in the world. And a lot of talent will be wasted because they don't know who they are. And when you don't know who you are, ladies and gentlemen, the world defines you. It says, well, you don't know who you are, so I have to control your life. And the world defines you by your race and says, puts you in a box and says you can't make it because of the color of your skin. And how many people are affected by that message that the world gives you because you look a certain color? And the race defines your existence based on how you see yourself. And when you don't know who you are, the world says, well, you know what, I'm going to get women and I'm going to give them a message. And I'm going to say, you can't make it because it's a man's world. And you get put into a box. And when you don't know who you are, the world sometimes defines you by your family, good or bad. I tell you a little story. I grew up in a family with 2 disabled brothers in my family. Tough thing to deal with. That's not an easy thing because I used to fight every single day because kids were calling me names in school. And I had a lot of shame in my family. And I grew up with low self-esteem and a lack of confidence in myself. And I lived in this small town. So it was really all black town surrounded by White County where they said nothing ever good comes of the Whitesboro. So I had to deal with that. And later on in life, you don't know this, but I worked in the prison system 5 years. I didn't say I was in the prison system 5 years. You know, I heard he was in the prison system 5 years, and he's up in Snowbird now speaking. Worked in the prison system 5 years, but there's no question with the rage and the anger I had, I would have been a prisoner in that system, except for one thing. I played a little bit of basketball. And basketball gave me enough self-esteem not to be able to destroy myself. And I never will forget this story. It was a small town, low self-esteem, lack of confidence coming up, used to fight every day. We had one store in our small town, and the guy that owned the store, his name was Mr. T.A. And we used to always look up to Mr. T.A.'s. You know, you get the guy that owns the store, his name is Mr. T.A. We're going to hang out at Mr. T.A.'s. And that was a great thing. So we're down there one Saturday morning. And I was a pretty good basketball player. And eventually I became all-state ball player. I was a star in the local county. I was a pretty good ball player, if you let me tell it. And one Saturday morning, never will forget it, defining moment in my life, ladies and gentlemen. And Mr. T.A. was behind the counter, and I knew I was getting all these scholarship offers from all over the country, UCLA and Villanova and all kinds of schools that wanted me to come visit their school, or at least had some interest in me. And he's behind the counter, and we're playing pool and shooting pinball, and this was my time to brag to Mr. T.A. that I was going to college, because I was a bragger. You know, when you have low self-esteem, you brag a lot. So I said to Mr. T.A., Mr. T.A., guess what? I'm going to college. And I'm thinking Mr. T.A. is going to say, you know what, Matthew, it's so great. You're going to college. You got out. Mr. T.A. looks at me, and I look at him, and he says, never will forget it. He says, son, you're not going to no college. Your family's too stupid, and you're too dumb. And you know, when you're 13 or 14 years of age and someone says to you, you're not going to no college, your family's too stupid, and you're too dumb, and you look up to this person, and you've been looking up to this person all of your life, it hurts. And you get sad. And I was sad for a long time, and then I got mad. And then I promised myself, if it's the last thing I did in my life, I was going to fix Mr. T.A. I said to myself, I'm going to fix you, Mr. T.A. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get my degree, and I'm going to bring it back to you, and I'm going to show you that I'm somebody. So, ladies and gentlemen, I went to college, and I was on the basketball team, and the basketball team would be away for a long week, and they would come back from playing ball, and I'd have a test the next day, and I would stay up all night long. The rest of the guys would go to bed. I'd stay up all night long studying for that test, because what did I have to do? If it's the last thing I did, I had to get that degree and bring it back to Mr. T.A. and show Mr. T.A. I'm somebody. Well, I finally graduated. That was a great day. I don't know if I learned anything, but I got that degree. And then I said, you know what? I'm not finished with you yet, Mr. T.A. I'm going to go get my master's degree. Went and got my master's degree. Served in the U.S. Army. Played ball in Europe. Worked in the prison system 5 years. And still didn't know who I was as a person. And so when you don't know who you are, the world defines you by your religion, and the world defines you by your house and your car and your money and your title, and the world defines you by your environment. And sometimes the world defines you by your relationship. I'm sure maybe some of y'all said it. Who's coming to speak? I think that's Oprah's man that's coming to speak. I'm sure some of y'all said it. Don't say y'all didn't say it. And so I know what it's like to be defined. And what I realize, and what the message I'm trying to give you, is not really how the world defines you. It's only how you define yourself. That's the only thing that matters. How do you define who you are? And it took me a long time to get that. So when I understood there was a process for it, there was a system for it, I wrote about it. So I've written about 11 books, 3 national bestsellers. And I teach, I came up with the message of identity development. Is that you got to have an identity. If you don't have an identity, you're pretty much all over the place. And so what I do is I teach people, or why I exist is I teach people how to find out who they are all over the world. And I teach it in schools and colleges, and I teach it to as many people as possible, what I've learned. And I teach it in a 9-step success process, which I'm going to share with you in a short amount of time. And the first step is based on, it's called check your ID. And the first step is based on the most powerful word in the world. Most powerful word in the world is, what do you think it is? No, okay. Most powerful word in the world?
My mom, please and thank you.
Okay, good. Most powerful word in the world?
Money.
Money, okay. Most powerful word in the world?
Love.
You got it. Round of applause right here. Most powerful word in the world is love. Why?
Well, I guess it depends on the person, but for me, it's why I do what I do.
It's why you do what you do. And how does love play a part in that?
Gives me fulfillment,
Fulfillment,
pleasure,
pleasure,
experience,
experience.
fulfillment.
You're unlimited in your development because you just love what you do when it grows and growth, right? Gives you a process for continuous improvement. It helps you organize your life. It makes you happy, makes you feel good, all of those things.
All of the above.
All of the above. So love is the most powerful word in the world. It's only 2 choices, ladies and gentlemen. It's either love or hate. It's negative or positive. It's good or bad. It's will or won't. It's looking at the glass half full as opposed to half empty. So when you can begin to organize your life around everything you love, wow, it's an amazing, amazing thing. I want to take some time here. I need about 6 people up front. Okay, I need 10. Who can come up? 6. And I need a hand mic. Do a little exercise here. And I need a timer. Do we have anybody who can time? Who can time? Matthew, time? Okay, you be the timer. Who can count? Anybody can count? Can y'all count over here? Okay, y'all count. This table right here, okay? So we need a, where's the guys? Here, we take one more. Where's the guys? Who can come up? We need a guy. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this is a little contest. We want you to name everything you love in 30 seconds.
At the same time?
No, just one at a time. And counters, we want you to count. Got it? Okay. Tyler, we're going to start you off first. Not yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the signal. Counter. Okay, counter. Matt. I'm going to give you, I'm going to have a seat right here so I'm not getting in people's way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, when I do that, you start. Okay, and we'll see how many things you can get that you love in 30 seconds. Okay? Now, the record, national record is 45 in 30 seconds. Just to let you know. Okay? All right. So Tyler, ready? Go.
Okay. Kyrie, Savvy, my daughters, my wife, my parents, my wife's parents. I love nature. I love to be outside. I love the heat. I love the ocean. I love vacation time. I love.
Stop.
Let's see here.
Ding. Okay. How many counters? 11? Okay, 11's good. 11's good. Fantastic. Okay. Your name?
Catherine.
Okay, Catherine. Okay. Ready? Go.
self, family, God, the color green, the change of seasons, pine trees, oak trees especially, red maples, my granddaughter, the soon-to-be grandchild, extended family. Well, my brothers and sisters especially, because I lost my mom and dad, so that's 100%. I enjoy my job. I go to church every Sunday, so I love going there and learning something new from the pastor.
Go. Okay. Right on time. How many counters? 14. Okay, 14. Fantastic. Okay. Your name?
Kate,
Okay, Kate. Ready? Go.
my daughter, my family, my friends. I love teaching. I love what I do. I love my job. I love the beach. I love going to national parks. I love peonies. They're my favorite, and tulips, and gosh, what do I love? Animals, horses especially. Really kind of being in a position to help others when I can.
Okay, there you go. All right. 13. Okay, 13. Okay. All right, sounds good. Your name?
I'm Lindsay.
Okay, Lindsay. 14 is the highest. Okay, so far. 14 is the record today. Okay.
Right.
Ready? Go.
I love my mother, my father, my 3 sisters. They're beautiful families, their children. I love my small little dog that I try to adopt. I love waking up in the morning. I love fresh morning air. I love running. I love cool sheets climbing into bed. I like family, friends, Kate, my coworker. I love being here at MasterControl with everyone. I love what I do. I love myself.
Okay. 16. Okay, 16. Wow. Okay, 16 is the record so far. All right. Your name? Celinda. Okay. Celinda. Okay. Ready? Go.
Myself, my husband, my kids, my grandkids, my family. I love cooking. I love outdoors. I love travel. Animals, crafting, my job most of the time, and NCIS.
Okay, good. All right. 12. Okay, 12's good. Fantastic. Okay. Your
My
name?
name's Leah.
Leah.
and
Okay, ready? Go.
I love my husband, my kids, my mother, my grandparents, myself especially, God, boots and shoes and handbags. And I love my job and the people I work with. I love Scandal. And let me see what else. I love fall. That's my favorite season. And that's all I can think of.
Okay, good. 13? Okay, fantastic. 13 is good. Okay, the record is 14. Okay, here we go. Your
I'm
name?
Dana.
Okay, Dana. Ready? Go.
My boyfriend, my 3 kids, my parents, my sisters, my brother-in-law, my niece on the way, volunteering, sailing. I like my coworkers. I also like NCIS. The color red, roses, gardenias, gardening, being in Montana.
Okay, sounds good. 16. Okay, fantastic. Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay, why do we do this exercise, you think? Why is this important? Anyone?
Point out how it is to figure out what you like.
To point out what we love, okay? To point it out. So we have to be conscious of what we want to, what's important to us. Okay, what else? Why else?
It's a way to communicate with other people, lets them know topics of conversation. That tells them who you are. Yeah.
Right. It's a great way to communicate with other people, and learn how to take information and make it relevant to everything that you love and care about, and communicate that to as many people as possible that are interested or that you're interested in, okay? What else? You said...
It tells people who you are.
It tells people who you are. So wealth, richness of life is really not about money. Richness of life is about what? How many things you can love. And how many things you can care about. And how many things you can organize. And how many things you can lay out and figure out how many things that you can take information and make it relevant to those things that you really care about or that's important to you or that you're passionate about. So when we talk about love, we want to put it into a practical sense of organizing as many things as we love and taking all the information and education and make it relevant to our heart and our soul, because our heart knows what we love. And then we want to transfer it to our mind so we can think about how to process that. So it becomes practical in our lives in the 24 hours that we have every single day, which is what makes everybody equal. Everybody has 24 hours. The question is, how do you organize that 24 hours to empower yourself so that the more you have, the more you can give? Y'all did a fantastic job. Round of applause right here. Y'all fantastic job. Okay. And that's the foundation for growth and development, ladies and gentlemen. That's your identity. You can create your own identity by organizing everything that you love and care about on a piece of paper. And you can just grow it and grow it and grow it and use the experience to learn more about what you love all over the world. And that becomes your foundation for development. That's the first step in a 9-step success process. That's your motivation. That's your passion, that's your purpose, that's your abilities, that's your talents, that's your skills. That's your value. And like I said before, that the value that you give yourself is the value the world gives you. The world sees you as you see yourself. How do you see yourself? The second step of the 9-step success process, where I'm motivated every single day, I can't wait to get up, I'm focused on what I love, I'm passionate about the world I live in, I'm organizing everything that I love in my life. I'm taking information, education, making it relevant to my passion, to my heart and soul, transfer it to my mind so I can be an active, thinking human being. And then I'm organizing myself every single day so I can learn how to take information and education as opposed to memorizing, taking tests, repeat the information back, get labeled with a grade, and 2 weeks later you forget the information. Information doesn't become relevant to your development. So what happens to your leadership skills? You become average. You become a commodity like everybody else because everybody's doing the same thing over and over every single day. So how do you stand out? How do you develop a competitive edge for yourself? Second step is you got to have a vision. Why is vision so important? Vision is what? Vision is always out here. And vision determines your social economic development. The good book says where there is no vision, the people what? Perish. So if you have a leader, you have leadership without vision, what do you have? Pretty chaotic. And so vision allows you to see beyond yourself. Vision allows you to organize everything you love in the world. I'm in the education business. How big is education? Worldwide. How big should my vision be? Worldwide. How big should my resources be? Worldwide. How big should my opportunities be? Worldwide. Why? How big should my relationships be? Worldwide. So vision allows you to what? You're just, without a vision, you're just what? Poverty is having no vision. So you're just doing the same thing over and over every single day. It's called work. Not getting beyond what? Your possibilities. What's possible for us in America? Anything. It's the greatest country in the world. because the systems work. And when you can take those systems and make it relevant to your life, to what you do every single day, and create work-life balance, nothing wrong with work. But if you can self-actualize your potential as a human being based on what's possible for you in the world that we live in America, you can do anything you want. Third step, okay, I'm motivated, I can't wait to get up, I'm passionate about what I do, I'm able to take information, education, and make it relevant to my heart and soul, transfer it to my mind, transfer it to the American Free Enterprise System, create and shape my own future, and develop a process for continuous improvement every day. I'm the master of my own destiny. And I can pass that down to my children and the people I come in contact with, so they understand the value of knowledge and information and how to make it relevant to your life every day. So you can be a lifelong learner. So you can have self-determination. So you can eliminate all the labels that put you in a box. So you can change your belief system about what's possible for you every single day. And it will affect your social economic development. It affects your money. It affects your business. It affects what you do every single day. It affects your resources. It's a process for organizing all the things that you need to be the kind of leader that aligns with your potential as a human being. Got my vision. You know, I'm worldwide. I'm organizing the whole world around me every single day. I'm empowering myself every day. Third step, you got to have a plan. Why is planning so important? Well, you're in that business. Planning is important because you need a process that what? That works. You need a system that works over and over the same way all the time, that you can measure, that you can go back to, that's a model for your development. What's that look like for you? Everybody has their own unique talents and abilities. What are your unique talents, your unique talents and abilities? What's your brand identity? What makes you special? What makes you unique? What do you love to work on? What can you practice on every single day? Michael Jordan became a great basketball player because he what? He practiced the same way all the time, every single day. 500 shots a day, the same way. And so he became a good shooter. And planning is about practice. What are you practicing on? How do you align the information and education? Well, you know, I'm right brain, so I really don't worry about the details. So what happens when you're right brain? Right brain person is what? Is a visionary. Right brain person is big picture. Right brain person, they're musicians, they're artists. Left brain, when you're left brain, you're what? Analytical, operational, dig deep in what you do. I'm right brain. So my success is not necessarily based on my dominant right brain. It's based on my what? It's based on my ability to execute based on using my left brain. And if you get a bunch of right brain people together, what happens? You don't get anything done. If you get a bunch of left brain people, what happens? The paralysis by analysis, right? Just keep digging holes, right? And so the key is, the genius is to be able to take the right brain and put it with the left brain to create a whole brain. 45% of the people in the world are right brain, 45% are left brain, and 10% are no brain. And so planning is very important. Let's say, okay, so I go to the fourth step, master the rules of the road, your guiding principles. What are they? Okay, I'm motivated every single day. I have a vision I can see beyond myself. I'm not just doing the same thing over and over every single day. I have a plan. I can align myself with the vision that I have for myself. I can build backwards. I know exactly what I'm going to do every single day to get to my vision. And then when I create that vision, I create another vision and another vision. And then I have a plan to make that happen. I have a model, a business model, a personal model, a professional model. I master the rules of the road, your guiding principles. What are they? You got to work hard. We all know that. You have to trust. How big is that? You have to, the self-determination, perseverance. How big is positive attitude? Very business. When you talk about customer relationships, it's about having a positive attitude. Attitude is altitude. So when you have a negative attitude, what happens? How many people can fit in that space? You repel people when you have a negative attitude. When you're negative, law of attraction says whatever you put out comes back to you. That's why when you're positive and you focus on love as opposed to hate, and love as opposed to fear, and love as opposed to negativity, your whole life changes. When you change the way you think, your whole life will change based on the way that you think. Because when you put out positive, you get positive back. Step 5, step into the outer limits, overcoming your fears. There's 2 emotions, only 2. There's love and there's fear. There's only 2. How much fear are we dealing with every single day? From the time we wake up to the time we go to bed? What's the challenge? To move from a fear mindset to a loving mindset. Step 6, power to ceases to change. It's not so much what happens to you, but how you respond to it. I worked in the prison system for 5 years. A lot of folks in prison because somebody stepped on their toe. Or they got mad and angry. They did something they regret. So, step into the outer limits, overcoming your fears. Power to ceases to change. How many changes do we go through from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed? The question is, what is your internal capacity to deal with change? How strong are you? How much strength do you have? In spite of the financial tsunami and all the things we deal with all over the world, you have to be strong every single day. Because the law of the jungle, ladies and gentlemen, applies to everybody. Only the strong survive. Nobody cares about you being weak. Step 7, build your dream team. Got to have a team. No one makes it alone. No man or woman is an island unto themselves. You cannot make it by yourself. Your team is predicated on what? How strong or weak you are. You don't pick mentors. Mentors pick you. And they pick you based on what? How good you are. That's why everything's about you. Everything should be about you. Every day you should be focusing on you, on your development, on making yourself the best person you can be. Be the best you can be. And I think Dr. King probably said it better than anybody else. I had a chance to speak at their family reunion. I didn't know Dr. King, but I knew Mrs. King very well, Coretta Scott King, and our family. And I remembered he said about becoming the best you could be, he said this, he said, even if it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Handel and Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived the great street sweeper that swept his or her job well. If you can't be a pine on the top of a hill, be a scrub in the valley. But be the best little scrub on the side of the hill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't by the size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. Step 8, win by decision. Took me a long time to understand it's about the information. I read one book in high school. One book. I've written 11. You know what the difference is? You know what the gap was? When I discovered the power of information. And I could take that information and make it relevant to everything I love in my life. And that I can empower myself. And that I can be the master control of my own destiny. That's when I changed my life. Step 9, last step. This is the transformation step. Can you transform from a follower to a leader of your own life? And that's a decision just like that. You know what? I'm going to lead the rest of my life. I'm going to control my life every day. I'm going to shape and develop my own future. I'm going to focus on my passions, what I love, what I care about, and I'm going to give service to the world. And when you move from a follower to a leader, sometimes people get upset, because there's a lot of followers, very few leaders. And what happens when you become a thinker? Folks say, what are you doing thinking? You better get back in that box. Who do you think you are? They get kind of upset when you start to excel and start to take charge of your own development. And I'm going to end with this book called The Race. I love this book. It talks about this guy's having a tough day. He having a very difficult time. It's The Race by D. Groberg. And the world's going to tell you sometimes, and it may be people close to you, why don't you quit? Why don't you give up? You're beaten, they shout at me and plead. There's just too much against you now. This time you can succeed. And this guy's having a very difficult day. He starts to hang his head in front of failure's face, and his downward fall is broken by, he remembers this race. And hope refills his weakened will as he recalls that scene. For just the thought of that short race, it kind of rejuvenates his being. See, it's a children's race. Young boys, young men, how he remembered well. Excitement, sure, but also fear. It wasn't hard to tell. They all lined up, so full of hope. Each thought to win that race, or tie for first, if not that, at least take second place. And fathers watched from off the side, each cheering for his son. And each boy hoped to show his dad that he would be the one. The whistle blew and off they went, young hearts and hopes of fire. The win and be the hero there was each young boy's desire. And one boy in particular, whose dad was in the crowd, was running near the lead, and he says, my dad, he's going to be so proud. But as they sped down the field across the shallow dip, the little boy who thought to win, he kind of lost his step and slipped. Trying hard to catch himself, his hands flew out the brace, but amid the laughter of the crowd, he fell flat on his face. So down he fell, and with him hope he couldn't win it now. Embarrassed, sad, he only wished to kind of disappear somehow. But as he fell, his dad stood up, and he showed his anxious face, which to the boy so clearly said, get up and win the race. He quickly rose, no damage done, behind a bit that's all ran with all his mind and might to make him for his fall, so anxious to restore himself to catch up and to win. His mind went faster than his legs. Guess what, y'all? He slipped and fell again. He wished that he had quit before with only one disgrace. I'm hopeless as a runner now. I shouldn't try the race. But in the laughing crowd he searched, and he found his father's face. That steady look was said again, get up and win the race. So he jumped up to try again, 10 yards behind the last. If I'm to gain those yards, he thought, I've got to move real fast. Exerting everything he had, he regained 8 or 10, but trying so hard to catch the lead. Guess what, y'all? He slipped and fell again. Defeat, he lay there silently, a tear dropped from his eye. There's no sense running anymore. 3 strikes, I'm out. Why try? The will to rise had disappeared. All hope had fled away, so far behind, so error-prone. A loser all the way. I've lost, so what's the use? He thought, I'll live with my disgrace. But then he thought about his dad, who'll soon have to face. Get up, and echo sounded low. Get up and take your place. You were not meant for failure here. Get up and win the race. With borrowed will, get up and said, you haven't lost it all, for winning is no more than this, to rise each time you fall. So up he rose to run once more with a new commit. He resolved that win or lose, at least he wouldn't quit. So far behind the others now, and the most he's ever been, still he gave it all he had and ran as though to win. 3 times he's fallen stumbling. 3 times he rose again. Too far behind the hope to win. But he still ran to the end. They cheered the winning runner as he crossed the line first place. Head high and proud, no falling, no disgrace. But when the falling youngster crossed the line last place, the crowd gave him the greater cheer for finishing the race. And even though he came in loud with head bowed low and proud, you would have thought he won the race to listen to the crowd. And to his dad, he sadly says, Dad, I didn't do too well. To me, you won, his father said. You rose each time you fell. So now when things seem dark and hard and difficult to face, the memory of that little boy, it helps me in my race. For all of life is like that race, with ups and downs and all. And all you have to do to win is rise each time you fall. Y'all keep rising. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.